So hey everyone, welcome back to another video of the series. Today we are having Bhavuk with us who will be sharing his knowledge and experience on how he got the role and how he prepared for the same. So Bhavuk, let's start with your introduction.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Bhavuk Kalra. I'm currently a final year student at Thapar University. So, a little bit about me. I'm currently a Github extern at Hopscotch and just completed my internship with JP Chase just this August only. And I'm also a Magasar Learn student and ambassador. So, that's just a brief about me. And yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay. And can you tell us more about the role, like what you do at your internship and what you had done at JPMC as well?
So in JPMC, as we do actually sign a non-disclosure contract with
Mm-hmm.
them, so I won't be able to give you the exact details, but I can surely actually brief you through it. What was the
Mm-hmm.
exact my stuff was like. So I worked on Spring Boot, Spring Cloud. Didn't have actually experience in Java before that, so I actually had to learn it on the go. But that wasn't an issue. So my uh, I didn't actually. So in internship, what is the basic format is like? So you are actually can be treated as an FTE, and or you could be actually assigned a separate project only. I mean, the manager could actually tell you that this is a project, and you will be doing this project throughout the internship. Or there could be another approach as well, where the you and manager could discuss that you will be doing the actual FTE task. Like solving the Jira issue. So that is what I actually did. So while the course of my internship, I did actually worked on three projects. First two were minor ones, and the third was a major one. So yeah, I can actually give you the exact data, but it was actually adding something, an existing data flow model to an existing application. These first two were minors, and the third one was a major one, which was actually involved with the QA teams had the QA team, which is the quality assurance, had some difficulties, the controlling the virtual machine on the cloud. So my role was to make that easy for them. So that was the third project.
Okay.
And I can actually share the tech stack. I don't think that would be a problem. It is Spring Cloud, Spring Boot, and Eureka Discovery Service and Java. So Spring Boot is based on Java. So that's all.
Okay. And like what about the GitHub extern role? What you are doing as a GitHub extern?
Yeah, I do can actually share a lot about it because it's open source. So GitHub externship actually started alongside the JP Morgan stuff. I actually didn't expect it to be got selected. I just actually a fun stuff because I also do open source stuff. But somehow I got selected. I'm just so thankful to the mentors over there. So I'm currently in charge of actually designing a mock server. So if anyone here or you in case has experience in Postman, so Postman is a tool we actually use to actually some backend testing stuff. So there is a feature in Postman where you can actually create a mock server. So mock server is basically, if front end guys need to actually have some data to actually, render something on the web page, they need some data from the backend, right? But what is in case if backend is not ready? You actually do a mock response. So
Mm-hmm.
backend guys can tell the front end guys, you can actually just go to this endpoint and just this is the response that will be getting in the final product. The product isn't ready yet, the backend, but they can actually mock it. So I'm actually integrating it with the existing application, which is Hopscotch. So Hopscotch is a web-based, uh, web-based you can say Postman is though we don't actually use Postman as such, but it is a joke around the community in that it is a Postman but it's a web-based. Yeah, so I'm you know um, making mock server into the existing application, so if that clears it.
Okay. And
Yeah,
like,
and then the I believe,
mm-hmm.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, the I believe the notable thing around it is that when you go into corporate world, which is JPMC, you don't have actually much control of the projects you are working on because there are actually a little bit of restriction on it. But the externship, which is open source community, I actually have complete control over the project, where I want to deploy, how do I actually want to create, how the code should be. It actually gives more of an individual feel that it is my own personal project. So that's just the difference between the two.
Okay. And like, how was your interview process for both the roles? And like, how many total rounds were there and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. So, for should I start with JPMC first because I actually did
Mm-hmm.
that first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, JPMC process actually started in second year only. It was actually a 1 year long process, but it shouldn't be actually 1 year because the COVID stuff actually made it a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But the user stuff is like so. You actually register for a Code for Good program on JPMC portal. So, Code for Good is a hackathon conducted by JPMC annually. It just happened this year as well. So I registered on that, and then there is actually a screening round first, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually the basic technical questions, the DSA and the basic where they check you actually the recursion and all the basic, that you are a software engineer to be called a software engineer. So that's the first round, and round is the basically the an interview round, but it's not an actual interview. You need to actually record your answers to the those two questions that are actually randomly generated for each participant, and then actually review it on their end.
Mm-hmm.
So some participants get lagged off on the first round, some participants get off to the second round, and then only 500 all over the India goes to the third round, which is the hackathon.
Mm-hmm.
So in the hackathon, you actually partner with the non-organization, which actually imposes some, the challenges that they face. So JP Morgan partners with them, and we actually build solution for them. So in the Code Forward hackathon is over, you actually if if it didn't even you win, if you had a commendable performance in the hackathon, then there will be actually they can actually just offer you an internship with JP Morgan Chase. But I believe that there should be fourth round as well because there was actually mentor evaluation as well, which is actually kind of tricky because in the third round we actually needed to just blow upon our experiences of the hackathon, and the mentor assigned to us actually was noting something down. What will we do if you join JP Morgan Chase? So I don't know if I should actually consider it a third round, but you can, if you want, you can actually consider a fourth round as well. But on the paper stuff, the official stuff, it is only 3 rounds.
Okay.
So that's about the JP Morgan Chase. GitHub externship is like a Google Summer of Code basically.
Mm-hmm.
You just propose a project to the existing applications. No, actually, it's a little bit different than that. First, you actually just send in an initial application, so they actually just render a few things out that the application actually foolproof. Yeah. Okay, the first step, the most of the actually students actually got lagged down in the first part only. So I remember that there were only 10 people left in my organization only. So GitHub externship partnership with that organization, and you work for them.
Mm-hmm.
So in the second, they actually talk a little bit. They actually just conduct a full on face-to-face interview with what are you actually going to do. They actually just more dig deep into what you actually propose. So through my organization, 6 students got selected, and I was one of them. So GitHub extension actually had his first tenure this year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It just started this year, and it will be having its winter month as well in around December. So 1,500 applications were there in the initial, and only 60 got selected.
Okay. And like, how did you prepare for both of them? To be specific, like you focus more on the project building side or on the CP side of the things?
Um, there are actually a difference of both of those because in JPMC, there was actually a mixture of both of those because the first round was a technical round. If you don't know, actually, I won't actually say CP. You don't actually require that high level of CP if you know actually you know your data structures, right? The string manipulation, recursion. What they do actually teach in college, they actually teach in college is basic DSA, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
actually need to have CP. You can actually clear the first round pretty easily with DSA only. So in JP Morgan Chase, I actually did needed both of those, DSA and projects. But in GitHub Research, they actually just didn't care about all the CP at all. I mean, if you don't know DSA, that's fine too. They actually just had your open source contributions checked and your proposal if it was foolproof. So that was about just it.
Okay. And anything else you would like to suggest to someone who is aspiring for a similar role? It could be in JPMC or some other firm.
In the corporate, what do I suggest? Yeah, be a little bit more confident, I guess. my mentor actually also suggested to me this, that you know all this stuff, but you don't actually need to panic. I believe I also panic sometimes in interviews. You might actually know the stuff, you know that you actually studied it, but be a little bit more confident. I mean, even if you don't get selected, what is the harsh? You actually just go on with your life. No worry in that. So just be calm, just be patient, and just give it your, just be confident about your words, and just life is good, man. I mean, there will be more opportunities in the future. Yeah, just be about it, and don't need to do CP as of now, because I do see uh, people focusing too much on CP, that I'm a 5 star on code chef and that's all. Yeah, basic BSA is all right too, I think. If you know your trees right, actually, how to invert a binary tree, how to invert a linked list. They actually teach this in college too. If you do the code college stuff right only, I think you can crack a decent enough internship or a placement, in my opinion. You don't need to actually have CP, 5 star and code forces. But there are some companies which actually do require it. I do agree,
Mm-hmm.
like Google, Goldman Sachs, DirectEye, and in some cases Microsoft. I am not quite sure though, but most of the companies you can actually crack with DSA only, if you do actually just do the coursework, and do some lead code and this stuff. Just regular website to actually practice DSA. That's all.
Okay, and like your outputs on how a community can help someone grow and like be ready for a role.
So community is actually a major portion. I actually forgot to add. So I was actually a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador for 2 years. I just actually promoted to gold, which is the highest tier you can go. So a community, they actually, you need actually require community, because there must be some kind of competition, because in the COVID as well,
Hmm.
there must be something, pushing you to actually achieve those heights. And when there is community, you actually don't feel like kind of alone in the battlefield. You actually, you have your side. You can actually go to some other peers as well, that to actually ask them doubts. So I believe, if you're in first year of college, so I actually advise, do I mean just send application to each and every college, to no, not college, the societies in your college, and do make a community around it as well. There are a lot of communities out there. Is Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. There is Google Developers, I believe, club as well.
Mm-hmm.
There are IEEE clubs as well. So just found a community. Just find a community which you actually link to, and just make around it, and just make some new friends. So it builds a connection as well. So I actually have lots of connection in London, Singapore, and you actually gets to connect. So if you're in Microsoft, you will be actually connected to Microsoft PMs and Microsoft technical leaders, and there are actually perks to us as well. For instance, if you're a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, you actually get to have free certification from them.
Hmm.
So a normal certification would have cost $200, but in case for you it is free. As you progress through it, there is actually alpha, beta, and gold.
The gold.
Yeah. Yeah. So the more you progress, the more perks you get. So that's just about it. I think you get Azure as well. So I used quite a bit of Azure. As I think that kind of help as well to actually make skills cloud ready in these, because in this COVID times you need to be actually cloud ready. Any application you deploy must be cloud ready. It must be actually, the principles of microservices. So that is actually the key point I actually learned through my internship as well. So any organization you join, do have some experience in cloud to deploy application to Heroku, so how to deploy to Heroku, how to deploy to Azure, and what is the modularized and microservice architecture look like, and how to design those stuff. If you have, I mean, that kind of experience, I don't think that any organization, I think any organization would be happy to have you over there.
Okay, great. So thank you, Bhavuk, for coming up and sharing your knowledge and experience with the folks. I'll be linking your LinkedIn in the description. So if anyone wants to connect, then you can surely check out the description for the same. And I hope Bhavuk will be helping you guys as well as he helped me and guided me out. And thank you for watching this video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.